Good morning, everyone. Isn't this a great day? Of all the things that we went through this semester, we deserve a day that looks like today, don't we? I want to welcome you to the celebration of Furman University's class of 2021 graduating scholars. Scholars, I'd like to extend a special welcome to you and offer congratulations for successfully completing your Furman career. Welcome to the family members who are here to celebrate with our graduating scholars. Parents, thank you for your steadfast support of these scholars, your children, and thank you for entrusting them to us for these past 4 years. As Furman's president, I know that they have been challenged, supported, guided, and encouraged by one another and by the outstanding faculty and staff at Furman. They forged their own path to a promising future through academic achievement, collaborative learning and planning, creativity in solving problems both as individuals and in seeking to better their community, and resiliency through challenges and setbacks, not the least of which was responding to and, yes, thriving during a senior year turned upside down by COVID-19. It gives me special joy to be with you here today in person as we celebrate these graduating seniors who have been recipients of highly competitive academic scholarships during their 4 years here at Furman. The students we recognize today are our James B. Duke Scholars, John D. Hollingsworth Scholars, Herman W. Lay Scholars, and our Charles H. Towns Scholars. These scholarships have been funded by the J.B. Duke Endowment, which supports both the Duke Scholars and the Towns Scholars, the Hollingsworth Funds, Herman W. Lay, Furman Class of 1930, and the Daniel Mickle Foundation. We miss having members of the Hollingsworth and Duke boards in attendance this year, but we'll be sending them a link to a video of today's events to illustrate again the significant impact on our students of these foundations' generosity. Scholars, thank you for choosing Furman. You have been an integral part of what makes Furman a special place. In a few minutes, we'll hear from some of you about what your scholarship and the Furman experience has meant to you. From my view as president, I want you to know you have meant a lot to us. Our community is better and stronger because you have shared your gifts and talents, not only in academic pursuits, but in your service, leadership, your creativity, and your passion. Thank you for adding so richly to our community. Now I'd like to ask to the podium Jill Fusen, Director of the Center for Critical Issues at the Riley Institute, who has worked with the scholars during their time at Furman. Jill.
Thank you, President Davis. Wow, it's really wonderful to see all of you here today, and especially our scholars who are graduating, and congratulations to each and every one of you. It's wonderful to get to see you and think about, when we first met and you were teenagers just embarking on your Furman career, and now you're getting ready to leave us and go and make your mark somewhere else. So it's a special day, and I'm really happy to have you here and to be with you to share it. As President Davis mentioned, I work at the Riley Institute, and the Riley Institute, for those of you who may not know, is a group of folks here at Furman who are very much inspired by Dick Riley, who is an alumnus of Furman and the former U.S. Secretary of Education and two-term governor of South Carolina, a man who just makes us happy to work under his name every day. And we work across the state and at Furman in areas of supporting public education, diversity leadership, and also the Furman Advantage. The Riley Institute is one of two groups that work with the scholars while they're here at Furman. And through the Institute, scholars gather for social and service activities and also academic ones, such as dinners with Institute guests who have come to campus, and they come and have dinner with the scholars and share their insights from their personal career paths. And I think maybe some of you might remember meeting your very first semester at Furman, former head of NASA and astronaut Charles Bolden. That was a really great first event for many of you. My colleague and friend, Dr. Scott Henderson, directs the Community of Scholars, which provides faculty mentors for Duke and Lay scholars, as well as programming throughout the year for students. And you'll hear a little more about the Community Scholars when Dr. Henderson comes to the podium a little later in the program. So today is a special day, and our primary goal is to celebrate you. And you all are incredibly impressive, and we want to recognize your individual achievements and experiences at Furman, and we're going to do that a little bit later in the program. For now, I thought I'd share with you just a few trends and takeaways that I learned as I was looking at the information that you submitted to us. So out of 24 graduating scholars, half of you majored in either politics and international affairs or Spanish, and a couple of you majored in both. 4 of you were triple majors. Most of you took advantage of study away opportunities, collectively traveling to 19 different countries. The most popular destination was Spain. 6 of you traveled there while you were at Furman. 3 of you have a career in corporate America lined up. Nearly 1/2 of you plan to attend graduate school. And 6 of you want to pursue a career in the healthcare industry. All of you expressed appreciation for your scholarship and the benefits and opportunities it provided. So in just a minute, we're going to hear from 6 scholars who will reflect on their experience at Furman and what the scholarship meant to them. And I think you should know that if we had time, we could have heard from many more of you. So I'd like to share with you just a few of the comments that some of these other scholars have shared with us. The first is from Sarah Barnett, who said, "Through this scholarship, I have benefited from mentors, met very interesting CLP speakers, and had the financial provisions to enjoy my experience at Furman fully." Grace Cheney shared that the Community of Scholars mentorship program meant there were always people on my side. I relished the countless opportunities to meet with the Riley Institute CLP speakers and hear more about their stories. Campbell Long said this scholarship was what brought me to Furman. It allowed me to afford the amazing education I received. Christina Bonin told us that the Community of Scholars provided me enriching experiences with leaders and change makers, as well as fun experiences. Most importantly, the full tuition allowed me a small liberal arts education with engaging classes. Another student shared that the Community of Scholars fostered by Furman has always encouraged me to push myself to always do my very best. And finally, Lainey Morris shared, "I am incredibly grateful to have received this scholarship and to have been a student at Furman. I am graduating with the confidence that I will be able to pursue my passions with purpose and intention." So now it's time to hear from 6 scholars themselves, the first of whom is Abby Mathai. Abby served as a scholars intern during what was arguably the most challenging year at Furman in recent memory. But the things that stand out to me the most this year with Abby, though, are not the missed opportunities, although truly there were disappointments. Rather, what stands out is her enthusiastic willingness to dig in and try new things, her spirit of collaboration, her creativity and problem-solving abilities, her passion for Furman and for her fellow students, and her beautiful smile. Abby, thank you for sharing your gift of leadership. Please come and share your reflections.
Thank you for those kind words, Jill. I don't know if I'm worthy of it, but I won't say no to them, so thank you. Hi, I'm so glad that I could see everybody here today. Jill and I were so hesitant about if this event would even get to happen, and we really wanted to make it happen for you people because I think you very much deserve it. So I'm really glad that we could be here together. As she said, I'm Abby Mathai. I'm a town scholar. And I have had the privilege of working as the intern this year, which has helped me forge a different kind of connection with the scholars overall, because I've just been more involved with it. I've been more involved with getting to engage with students and stuff like that, and I've really enjoyed that experience. But Jill asked us to kind of talk on our time reflecting on what the scholarship has meant. And I think I could say a lot, and especially in these last few weeks or months even, I think a lot of the seniors have been asked numerous times and in various different ways to reflect on their time at Furman, to give advice. It's funny to me that people want advice from a 22-year-old. I don't know how much I have to offer, but it has made me quite reflective just to think about all the things we've gotten to do here. So all that to say, I think there's a lot of different ways to say that college is ending and we're moving on and there's a new chapter ahead of us and there's so much to look back on. One way I can say it is I'm pretty sure in college everyone gets into poetry at some point because that's just what you do at a liberal arts college. So I have one Robert Frost poem on my bedroom wall, and it's "Nothing gold can stay," and I think that line pretty much encapsulates what my time here at Furman has been and what it's coming to an end, as nothing gold can stay. It was absolutely golden, and I loved every moment of it, and I got so many opportunities from it, and yet it can't stay. And when I think about that, I think, okay, so what are the things that are going to stay? I could speak to all the opportunities that I got tangibly from the scholarship, but I think the ones that stand out to me most are the intangibles. So the first would be the even opportunity to be at Furman. I would not be at Furman if I didn't have the scholarship at all, which means it opened up doors and windows and whatever of opportunity that I would not have had otherwise. So I'm just, first of all, grateful for the ability to be here. And that was kind of the initial starting point for me. The second would be friendship. So I met my first Furman friend on my scholarship weekend, and he has been stuck with me since then, which has been fun for him, I'm pretty sure. So all that to say, I think those are the two things I'm probably going to take away the most. The fact that I even got to be here, because that is what led to every other opportunity down the road. And the second is the general friendship that I've provided from this, because this is probably one of the most thoughtful group of people that I've met. I know that we don't all see each other and we don't all hang out every second of the day. However, whenever we do interact in the ways we do get to engage with each other have always been meaningful. I always know that I'm in a like-minded group of people who want to pursue academics, not for the pursuit of knowledge, but for the pursuit of betterment of themselves and society overall. And I think that's what I will be taking away from here, because getting to reflect back, I just get to see that I got to grow with you people for 4 years, and I think if that's not a privilege, I don't know what else would be. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you for letting me be your intern this year.
Good morning. My name is Carson Staples, and I'm a Duke Scholar. As I reflect on my time here at Furman, I cannot help but be humbled and grateful for the opportunities that the Duke Scholarship equipped me to pursue. During my freshman and sophomore year, Duke Scholarship helped me to determine my vocation, my purpose in life. Through the Faculty Mentor Program, I was able to have meaningful conversations with my mentor, Dr. Blomquist, who helped me to understand how who I am should drive what I do in this life. Soon, Dr. B became my advisor in the psychology department, and with the help of the Cawthron Center for Vocational Reflection and a trip to Corrymeela in Northern Ireland, I began to realize that above all else, I'm on this earth to help other people. So I continued on the pre-health track and declared psychology and religion as majors, seeking to understand people on a physical, psychological, and spiritual level. This trip to Northern Ireland sparked in me a love of travel, as I'm sure most of us can relate to. Because of the Duke Scholarship, I was able to make my dreams a reality and study abroad 3 additional times, on a May-X to Copenhagen to study happiness, on a June-X to Italy and Switzerland to study religion and architecture, and on a semester internship program in Edinburgh, Scotland. My May-X provided me with broader understandings of the healthcare system, cultural differences within these systems and practices, and the ways that these differences affect people's daily lives. My June-X helped me to understand the roots of modern-day religion and recognize that religious practices are varied in style, artistic expression, and even in architecture. Of every experience I've had at Furman, my semester abroad in Edinburgh was the most impactful. I had the privilege of spending my days at the Multiple Sclerosis Therapy Center as a research intern, a physical therapy assistant, and as a hyperbaric oxygen therapy technician. This semester, although shortened by the pandemic, helped me to take my vocation and funnel it towards my career. The mentors that I met during my time in Scotland have continued to support me and remain both a source of wisdom and encouragement. They helped me to determine that I wanted to pursue a career as a physician's assistant, and after graduation, I'll be continuing that pursuit by working towards my required patient contact hours. Above all, the Duke Scholarship allowed me to choose Furman as my home for these past 4 years. Without it, I would not have met the friends that I have here. I would not have gained the wonderful mentors who've supported me and guided me, and I wouldn't have gotten the perspective and experience through international travel that was so important to me. Nor would I have felt so equipped to enter the real world after graduation. So thank you to my fellow scholars, to the Riley Institute, to Dr. Henderson, and to the Duke Endowment. I could not have done it all without you.
Hi, my name is Davey Hyatt. I am a Hollingsworth Scholar here at Furman University, or at least I guess this is the last day I can say that I am a Hollingsworth Scholar. Tomorrow I guess I won't be. But I would just like to say, I think 2 main things about the scholarship. First of all, of course, thank you to the Hollingsworth Fund for supplying the scholarship and the opportunity for students from South Carolina like myself for having a great opportunity here at Furman. And I would just like to say, I think probably the best aspect of the scholarship was definitely the stipends, the different abilities that sort of allowed, besides the funding for education, the different opportunities like we've heard of for study abroad, as well as for internships. For me personally, the stipend allowed me to do a study abroad May X to Germany and France. It was a great experience, and it allowed me to sort of figure out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to study abroad, and then also use my own German language skills and sort of figure out if I wanted to major in German, as well as with economics, my other major. And so I did. It was a blast. I learned about the region. And so the year afterwards, I was able to study abroad in Berlin, spring 2020, at least before COVID, but it was an absolute blast of a time. A really amazing place, made a lot of good friendships, like with Jacob over there, a fellow scholar. And yeah, that was not only a great experience, but a certain great learning opportunity for myself. And I would say the second main thing with the stipends was the internship opportunity that allowed me to do over the summer. I was able to live on campus and work at a nonprofit here in Greenville called the Medical Legal Partnership, which is collaborative between Furman, Prisma Health, and South Carolina Legal Services. It was a great opportunity to show me sort of what working life was like, and also let me know what I didn't want to do in the future. And so I think I would speak to, in my own personal opinion, I feel like that is what the Furman Advantage is. It's about trying tons of different things here on campus, which is what I was going to mention with the funding aspect. The funding allowed me to do numerous things across campus. I was part of the Shucker Leadership Institute. I was an RA. I'm in Greek life. I was an orientation leader. I was on SAC. So I did, as you can see, 5, maybe 6 things that I didn't list also. So just, I think the opportunity to try many different things across campus is really the most rewarding aspect of the scholarship, as well as the friendships and also just meeting the different scholars. I have a very vivid memory of the first weekend here where it was the solar eclipse and we all had an ice cream social, and I was terrified of meeting new people first weekend of college, and I think it's honestly just amazing to see how everybody here has grown. I've seen LinkedIn updates, I've seen different awards across campus that everybody has won here, so I would say congrats to you all. Yeah, thank you for making Furman a great place, so thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ingrid Ramos. My name is Ingrid Ramos Rivera. I'm a lay scholar. And first off, I just want to say that these past 4 years have been insane. I've lived some of the best moments in my life, and equally so, there have been various moments where I have felt unsure about my ability to persevere and graduate. So now, as I'm currently rushing to get everything ready for tomorrow, I ask myself, how did this all work out in the end? And in doing so, I recognize that one of the main reasons is the Herman Lay Scholarship. Now, back in 2017, I didn't fully understand what it meant to get a full ride scholarship, nor the extent of the impact it would have on my college experience. When I first heard of the news, all I could think about was the excitement about being able to inform my parents that that financial burden would be lifted off of us. And how I would finally be able to embark the journey of being able to be the first person in my family to go to college. But never did I really consider that this scholarship would have the impact that it did have. For instance, during those weeks where it felt as if all professors had come together and agreed on overlapping deadlines, I was able to live on campus rather than having to commute. Hence, I was able to dedicate that extra time towards assignments and seeking help during office hours. Similarly, during those stressful times, having a full ride meant that I didn't have to face the pressure of needing to prioritize a job over my education. As such, I was able to make meaningful impressions on various professors, and ultimately, this led me to research opportunities, internship, and study away, where I got to meet various new individuals, and in that process, create a support system. Now, as I previously mentioned, I have endured several moments where I genuinely didn't know if I would be walking across the stage. And not wanting to disappoint others or myself, I was pushing myself more and more. However, I soon recognized that there are times where you can only do so much to help yourself, and you eventually have to lean on others for help. But the issue is that not everybody always has a support system, especially when you're a first-generation student. And so I'm immensely thankful for the Herman Lay Scholarship, because it is through this that I was able to get through last semester, and that I'm able to tell my parents I did it. I got through this. So, with that being said, and me not being able to read my notes anymore, thank you so much to anybody, and I wish everybody the best in their future endeavors.
Hello, everyone. Oh, yes. I am Makayla Fuller. I am a Hollingsworth Scholar. I am also a chemistry and theater double major here at Furman. And what the scholarship has meant to me has been the opportunity to explore all of my passions in full, and I am very thankful for that. Now, when I say that I am a chemistry and theater double major, most people look at me like I am crazy, because it is a very unique combination, if you will. But I think that is one of the most beautiful things about Furman, is because you get the chance to explore all of your passions, and it really makes you a very well-rounded individual. And I really appreciate the opportunity to have a liberal arts education, because it's been I love to learn, and I love to learn about a lot of things, and that's why I chose Furman. And the scholarship has meant giving me the opportunity to pursue that education. And I didn't want to leave Furman regretting not taking advantage of all of the experiences and opportunities that Furman has to offer. And given the circumstances of the pandemic, I definitely think that I was able to squeeze out everything that I possibly could from this education. just to name a few things of what I was able to complete here at Furman, I completed the Pilot Pathways program, a chemistry summer research program, several independent study theater projects ranging from design to directing, and as well as short film. I completed more chemistry research through other independent studies. I worked on multiple theatrical productions, and I was on several organizations that contributed to student life and diversity on Furman's campus. And when I say that out loud, knowing that I didn't list everything that I've done, I can really say that I did a lot, and that I'm just so thankful that I got to complete all of those things. Gained a lot of knowledge. I've developed so many skills here, and I don't think that I could have learned that or done that anywhere else. I mean, most people cannot say that they were a part of a plan for a concert that brought an actual famous person here, and I can say that I did. And as an African American student, I'm so proud of the tangible changes being put forth for students of color. I'm very thankful to have been a part of that. I can see Furman putting in the effort to be a more inclusive place, and that makes me so happy. I was on the NAACP, the SDC, Student Diversity Council, and I was on the executive board for Student League for Black Culture, and these are things that I'm just very passionate about. And I was talking to a freshman the other day, and I just asked her how she felt as a woman of color on campus, because I know how I felt, and I wanted to know if the work that we've been doing, those changes that we've been trying to make on the campus, if those were working. And I asked her, and she said Furman was one of the few places that she truly felt seen as a Black woman. And that just made me so happy, because coming into Furman, I know that that's not necessarily my experience. I definitely felt included, but the fact that she felt seen, I feel like that means so much to me, and like the leaps and strides that we've made on this campus mean so much, and I'm just very happy to have been a part in changing that culture for the better. I am so happy to be a part of the growth here, and I feel that Furman has helped me grow as a person in the 4 years that I've been here. I'm standing up here today, and I'm wearing my high school graduation outfit, partially just because I like the outfit, but also as symbolism. It was one of the first dresses that I got that I'm like, this feels like it's for a grown-up. And I feel that at Furman, I have been able to grow into the woman that this dress was meant for. And these 4 years have gone by so fast, faster than I could have ever thought they would have gone by. But I am so happy that I was able to use the 4 years that I was allowed here to grow into the woman that you see standing up here today. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Will Chapelski, and I am a town scholar. I'd like to start just by saying thank you to everyone that made my scholarship, my time at Furman possible. I think I'd like to speak on 3 different things this morning. The first is on mentorship. And I don't mean the kind of mentorship where your academic advisor tells you what classes to take. I mean the kind of mentorship that inspires you, that reaches outside the classroom, that encourages you to step outside your comfort zone. When I started at Furman, I didn't feel too welcome. I didn't have a great social circle. I was very intimidated. And the people who made me feel most welcome from the very beginning were my professors. It was the faculty, because they saw that I had passions, and they were willing to reach out and make those passions a reality. And this all started with one specific professor who inspired me to go abroad and go to Spain with him, with the Furman program that went to Madrid. And I didn't develop really strong relationships with many people on that trip, but the person who I really felt most connected to was my professor, Dr. Mikno. And Dr. McNo and I became so close that every week, multiple times a week, we would go out and just get dinner together. We developed a really strong bond. I've become close with his entire family. This is the kind of mentorship that you don't get at a lot of schools. And for that experience has been so powerful to me. And the thing that really inspired me was today. I just came from the Spanish department's, or the modern language department's senior send-off, and I got to talk to Dr. McNo with my mother, my grandmother, and he took the opportunity to embarrass me a little bit, but we got to talking about all of the time that we've spent together at Furman, from being a little freshman who had no idea what he was doing, to being somebody who was forced out of his comfort zone once and then again, first in Spain and then in Argentina. And now the thing that impressed me most was that he said to me today that he saw me as a peer and not as one of his students. And that's the kind of mentorship that I know I came to Furman to get. I could talk to you guys about all of the different opportunities that I was able to pursue, my undergraduate research, in each of the aspects of the study away programs that I did, or the fact that I was able to follow many of my different passions, whether that's language learning or math or computer science or music. And ultimately, the thing that had the biggest impact on me was the professors. And the professors are so dedicated to us. And I don't think I can ever say thank you enough to those faculty members who've made my time at Furman so special. And I am so honored to have been a part of a place where there's this culture of mentorship, and it pervades through the entire community. And I'm so truly honored. So thank you again for this scholarship. My time at Furman, though it's had difficulties, ultimately provided me with the connections and the mentorship and the advising and the advice that I needed to get through the most difficult parts of my educational experience. And I'm so grateful to have been able to be a part of Furman University. Thank you.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me. Jill reminded me to project. I began my teaching career with 7th graders, so I've got this. First of all, let me thank President Davis and Provost Peterson for taking time out of their busy commencement weekend schedules to be with us this morning. Let me also thank Jill Fuson and Kendall Gallagher for doing an absolutely wonderful job organizing this event, including the weather. Let's talk later about that. I'd like to take just a minute or two to talk about our community of scholars, and then I will give a few directions for the final part of our program. Our student athletes, in their practices and games, have opportunities to create bonds of community. Our student musicians and thespians, through their rehearsals and performances, have opportunities to create bonds of community. But our student scholars rarely, if ever, have, or at least had, that opportunity. Several years ago, some of our student scholars brought this to our attention. And through the gracious funds provided by the Duke Endowment, we were able to create a program called the Community of Scholars. It is anchored among our Duke and lay scholars, but has been extended to include Hollingsworth and town scholars. And as Jill alluded to earlier, through professional, academic, and social activities, this program provides those opportunities to create bonds of community that so many of our other students have. I won't describe the various activities and events that we have provided to our students, except to say that I have participated in both in-person and virtual escape rooms, experiences that left me enormously humbled, which my colleagues felt was long overdue. Finally, let me say this. For family members here today who may have wondered if you were being slightly less than entirely objective when bragging about your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, let me assure you, their intellects, their accomplishments, and above all, their ability and willingness to extend grace and compassion to others are simply stunning. The future holds nothing but more of the same. In the last part of our program, we are going to call scholars up one by one. We will embarrass them by reading brief biographical overviews of some of their accomplishments. It would take too long to read all of them. President Davis will put an honor cord around their neck, and then our scholars will have an opportunity to have a photo taken with President Davis. We do ask, however, that you keep your mask on during the cord part as well as the photograph in terms of health protocols. So what I would like to start with is reading the biographies of our Duke and lay scholars, after which I will turn it over to Jill to read the biographies of our Hollingsworth and town scholars. My boss is now up here. Let me start with Christina Bonham. Christina is an economics and public health major. While at Furman, she traveled to Argentina to study Spanish and to the southwestern United States to learn about Native American religion and culture. She interned with Prisma's Office of Innovation and served as a project manager for the task force supporting Prisma's pandemic response during the summer of 2020. She also interned with Wells Fargo. In June, Christina will begin working full-time for Wells Fargo as a healthcare corporate banking analyst. Congratulations, Christina. Grace Cheney is an earth and environmental science, Spanish, and politics and international affairs triple major. While at Furman, she is interned for the South Carolina Environmental Law Project and for Senator Tim Scott. She traveled to Madrid in 2019 to study Spanish, and she is currently applying to jobs in Maryland, where she plans to work as an environmental scientist. Congratulations. Lainey Morris is a Spanish major with minors in Latin American Studies and Medicine, Health, and Culture. She served as a summer research fellow in the Freeman Neuroscience Lab and presented her research at a statewide conference. She also served as an intern for Strategic Marketing International and for the Prisma Health Department of Language Services. While at Furman, Lainey traveled to Madrid, Spain, where she studied linguistic and social diversity. After graduation, she plans to work in education or healthcare as she applies to graduate schools. She hopes to have a career where she can study and teach about the impact of food culture and policy on community health in the U.S. and Latin America. Congratulations. Evan is a politics and international affairs and Latin American studies double major. While at Furman, he participated in research on Hispanic linguistics and interned on Capitol Hill in D.C. and with NEXT Innovation Center. He served as editor-in-chief of the Paladin newspaper, and he also participated in internships in both Madrid and Brussels. After graduation, Evan plans to move to D.C. and work as a public interest fellow. Congratulations, Evan. Carson Staples is a psychology and religion double major. While at Furman, she served as a research and physical therapy assistant and certified hyperbaric oxygen therapy technician at the Multiple Sclerosis Therapy Center in Edinburgh. She attended the Cochrane Center Focus Trip and Happiness May X in Copenhagen. And she traveled to Italy and Switzerland to study art and religion. After graduation, Carson plans to take a gap year to get patient contact hours before applying to PA school. Congratulations. Abby Triple is a public health major who studied abroad in China and Scotland and served as a Tobacco-Free Alliance intern at Ash, Scotland. She participated in a pre-med internship at Northwestern Medicine in Chicago, where she shadowed physicians and assisted in clinical research on epilepsy treatment protocols among brain cancer patients. She also interned as a research assistant at Social Environment and Health Lab at Northwestern University, where she studied food safety, food security, and nutritional effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Abby plans to take a gap year pursuing some sort of public health or service work to gain experience within the medical field before attending medical school for pediatric medicine. Congratulations, Abby. And now our two graduating lay scholars. Alicia Key. Alicia is a computer science and linguistics double major. While at Furman, she conducted summer research on computing in community. She also participated in a 2020 summer research fellowship and a Capgemini RISE internship. After graduation, Alicia will be working for Capgemini in Columbia, South Carolina as a technical analyst. Congratulations. Finally, Ingrid Ramos Rivera. Ingrid is a Spanish and politics and international affairs double major. While at Furman, she worked on a research project on oral histories of Colombian textile workers in Greenville. She also interned for the Justicia Project and studied deterrence in the immigration context with Dr. Arciniega. In 2019, Ingrid traveled to Madrid, Spain to study Spanish. After graduation, she will take a gap year before applying to law school. This summer, she looks forward to traveling to her home country, Mexico. Congratulations.
And now we'd like to present our Hollingsworth Scholar graduates. Sarah Barnett is a Spanish and Politics and International Affairs major with a minor in Latin American Studies. In the summer and fall of 2020, she interned at World Relief Memphis. She traveled to Italy and Switzerland, studying religion and art, and to Chile and Argentina, participating in a Spanish immersion program. Post-graduation, Sarah is looking for a full-time job opportunity somewhere in the intersection of politics and religious identity. Super interesting. Thank you. Congratulations. Hayden Braun is a biology major who minored in medicine, health, and culture. While at Furman, he completed a research internship at Harvard Medical School. He also traveled to Southern Africa, where he studied global health inequalities. After graduation, Hayden will attend medical school at MUSC. Congratulations, Hayden. Makayla Fuller is a chemistry and theater arts double major. She has conducted research in chemistry, and she also participated in an independent study on costume design. She planned to study away in the United Kingdom in 2020, but the trip was unfortunately canceled due to COVID. Makayla plans to attend Clemson University in the fall as part of their chemistry PhD program. She wants to pursue a career in research in the pharmaceutical industry. Congratulations, Makayla. Davey Hyatt is an economic and German studies double major. While at Furman, he participated in a Bank of America Global Transaction Services summer internship and medical legal partnership internship. He traveled to Berlin and participated in the 2019 Life on the Rhine May X trip. Post-graduation, Davey plans to work at Bank of America as a GTS analyst. Congratulations. Campbell Long is a psychology major who served as a research assistant at the MUSC Stroke and Locomotion Lab. He was a teaching assistant for psychology research methods and statistics and a clinical counseling intern at the Parenting Place. After graduation, Campbell plans to work in research for 1 to 2 years before pursuing a PhD in clinical psychology. Congratulations, Campbell. Tia Ray. Tia Ray is a neuroscience and Middle Eastern and Islamic Studies double major. While at Furman, she participated in a sports medicine internship, a Prisma Health observership, and in neuroscience research. She also traveled to Spain, where she has studied travel writing. Congratulations, Tia. And now our town scholars. Ethan Court is a computer science major. He has participated in summer computer science research projects titled Realistic Character Generation and a recommendation system for Walt Disney World hotels. After graduation, Ethan plans to attend graduate school to study natural language processing. Congratulations, Ethan. Abby Mathai is a psychology and politics and international affairs double major. During her freshman year, she served as head research assistant for the Fortitude Study, a project funded by the Duke Endowment to study student resilience over their 4-year tenure. She also served as the Riley Institute intern for both the advanced team and scholars at Furman. In 2019, Abby traveled to Australia, where she studied politics and international sports business at Bond University in Queensland. This summer, she plans to bartend in Dallas before pursuing a position in international affairs and foreign relations. And on a side note, she is also a darn fine baker. Congratulations, Abby. Will Chapelski, I would like you to know it took me a few times to learn how to say that last name, but I've got it down now. He is an applied mathematics, Spanish, and information technology triple major. While at Furman, he participated in mathematics research. He studied Spanish in Spain and took a leave of absence to work as an intern for the Department of State at the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He also traveled to the Balkans to study war and memory across Serbia, Bosnia, and Croatia. After graduation, Will plans to work as a postgraduate fellow for Venture South, a Greenville-based venture capital company. Congratulations, Will. And last but not least, Jacob Soaps. Jacob Soaps majored in German studies, politics and international affairs, and Middle East and Islamic studies. He served as an intern for Ron DeSantis for governor, Nelson Mullins, Riley, and Scarborough in Orlando, Florida, and for the upstate regional office of Senator Lindsey Graham. Jacob also traveled to Berlin, Germany, and participated in a European Studies program. He hopes to attend graduate school and pursue a master's in public administration. Congratulations.
It's hard not to be impressed by these stories, isn't it? Scholars, I don't know if you can remember back to maybe your freshman or sophomore year, how many of you legitimately rolled your eyes every time you heard the Furman Advantage, right? See, right? But now that you're mature, what I wanted to point out to all of you, scholars, parents, friends, this didn't happen by accident. Will, the faculty are here because we only hire faculty who want to have these relationships with our students. The experiences that you've had abroad is because faculty wanted to develop those kinds of programs and travel with you so that it's not just sort of a vacation, but in fact you're really learning. Seriously, who could have planned for someone to be a hyperbolic technician? I mean, that just doesn't happen. But what we want you to understand is, as we think about preparing and creating experiences for our students along academics, the mentoring, the experiences, is we want your pathway to be yours. Not one of these stories was similar, was it? There were certain pieces of it where people were able to experience similar things, but these pathways, these experiences were specific to each one of our scholars. That only happens with great intentionality and people who really care about our students, our undergraduates having these kinds of experiences. So now you get to be a part of the Furman Alumni Association. You're part of the Furman family. And is Allison here? Allison, okay, everybody look at Allison, turn around. Allison is our Executive Director of Furman Alumni and Parent Engagement, and I know she'd be happy to talk with you about how you can get involved. One of the things that is very important to us is for our students, existing students, current students, to have access to mentors, to, Abby, you're just going to have more and more, you'll be more and more legitimate, let's just say, providing advice the older that you get. And what no other university can replicate, no other university can replicate our alumni. So you give the students who will be following you something precious that they can get from no one else. And I hope that you will continue to reflect on your Furman experience and be willing to help groom that next generation of Furman alumni. I want to thank our foundations and families who so generously donated their funds to these students so they could attend. You heard stories about barriers removed. We want there not to be financial barriers, time barriers, other things that prevent our students. Everybody, again, has a different story. There's something that stands in their way. And we are so grateful in this case that our foundations are able to remove those financial barriers. So thanks for coming today to spend a little time celebrating what these great scholars have done and what they'll continue to do as their pathways unfold. So a couple of housekeeping notes. Before you leave, drop off your name tags with Kendall. Near the exit, scholars take the cookies that are wrapped up for you. And I have one request. We'd like to get a photo of our class of 2021 scholars. So make sure your name tags are off and then come up here in the front for a group photo. Thanks again for being here. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow on a beautiful day for the class of 2021 commencement ceremonies. Thank you.